Ladies and gentlemen, there are 4 rules, just 4, that instantly separate the women men admire from the women they chase. And here's the truth no one tells you. Men don't chase beauty. Men don't chase perfection. Men chase value. They chase the woman who doesn't audition for anyone. The woman who listens with warmth but protects her heart with boundaries. The woman whose life is already rich, full and meaningful, with or without him. If you've ever wondered why a man's energy shifts, why he shows up harder for one woman and becomes lazy with another, it's not luck, it's not timing, it's these 4 rules. And once you understand them, you stop begging for effort and start attracting the kind of pursuit that is consistent, intentional, and real. A high-value woman doesn't walk into dating trying to impress, persuade, or earn someone's affection. She enters every connection from a place of grounded certainty. Certainty in her worth, in her standards, and in what she brings to the table. This internal posture shifts the entire dynamic. Instead of seeking validation, she evaluates compatibility. Instead of thinking, I hope he likes me, she thinks, let me see who he really is, and whether his behavior aligns with the kind of relationship I want. This is not arrogance, it's emotional maturity. And when a man senses that a woman isn't chasing him, but calmly choosing what aligns with her values, he becomes far more intentional in how he shows up. Men are wired to pursue what feels meaningful. When someone is available too quickly, invests too deeply too soon, or tries too hard to secure affection, it creates a dynamic that removes the challenge, the curiosity, and the sense of value. But a woman who knows her worth, communicates without saying a word, that effort will be required to be part of her life. Not because she's playing games, but because she respects herself enough not to hand over intimacy, time, and emotional investment before she has clear evidence that the other person is capable of giving something back. Her expectations teach others how to treat her, and men respond to this with more consistency, focus, and intentional pursuit. A high-value woman doesn't rush the beginning of anything. She understands that real connection unfolds slowly, and she's not afraid to let time do its job. She's comfortable allowing a man to reveal who he is, instead of projecting fantasies onto him. This patience is profoundly attractive. Men subconsciously feel safer around a woman who isn't desperate for immediate clarity or emotional guarantees. She isn't asking for constant reassurance or panicking when things move at a natural pace. She simply observes, listens, and gives space for the relationship to breathe. This relaxed energy makes him want to lean in because he senses that she brings stability rather than emotional chaos. Another quality that makes her irresistible is her refusal to overinvest in someone just because she likes them. Attraction is not a qualification, it's an invitation to explore. She doesn't assume that chemistry is enough, and she doesn't abandon her routines, her friendships, or her personal goals just because a promising man has entered her life. She maintains the balance between interest and independence. Men chase this equilibrium because it signals both emotional availability and emotional self-sufficiency. He doesn't feel pressured to be her entire source of happiness, nor does he feel unnecessary distance. She offers connection without losing herself, and that is extraordinarily rare. What really draws men in is her emotional regulation. She doesn't react impulsively, she doesn't punish with silence, lash out over small things, or turn minor misunderstandings into dramatic scenarios. Instead, she communicates directly and with grace. She doesn't base her worth on how quickly a man replies, how intensely he pursues her, or how much attention he gives on a particular day. Her identity is internal, not borrowed from someone else's behavior. This steadiness makes her stand out. When men realize that she cannot be manipulated, provoked, or pushed into insecurity, they begin to pursue her with deeper respect. She becomes someone they want to impress, not someone they feel obligated to manage. A high-value woman also practices discernment in how she gives access to her emotional world. She knows that vulnerability is not something to hand over cheaply. She reveals herself gradually, allowing a man to earn the privilege of seeing her deeper layers. And because she shares with intention rather than oversharing impulsively, her presence feels both inviting and mysterious. Men feel honored when she trusts them with pieces of her emotional life, and this creates a powerful sense of responsibility and desire to step up. She becomes someone they don't want to lose because the connection feels both real and special. She sets standards early, not by issuing demands, but by demonstrating through her actions what she will and will not accept. She doesn't need to warn someone that she won't tolerate inconsistency. She simply distances herself when it appears. She doesn't beg for better treatment, she expects it through her silence and her absence. This quiet confidence speaks louder than any confrontation ever could. A man quickly learns that effort is not optional with her. If he wants her attention, her energy, or her partnership, he must show up with clarity, and when he does, she acknowledges it with warmth, reinforcing that effort leads to reward. This balance of softness and strength is intoxicating. Another deeply attractive trait is how she navigates uncertainty. When something feels off, she doesn't jump to conclusions, chase for answers, or cling to illusions. She pauses, centers herself, and observes. She's not afraid to walk away if what she's receiving does not match the relationship she desires. Her courage to let go, rather than cling to potential, makes men pursue her more seriously. They recognize that her presence in their life is conditional, not on perfection, but on genuine effort and emotional maturity. Losing her isn't a small thing, it feels like the loss of someone irreplaceable. Her independence isn't a performance, it's a result of having built a life she genuinely enjoys. She doesn't pretend to be busy, she is busy. She doesn't say she has options to make a man jealous, she knows she does. She doesn't cling because she's never believed that her life is incomplete without a relationship. This unforced independence creates a gravitational pull. Men gravitate toward women who bring something more than romance into the relationship: depth, passion, peace, ambition, and self-respect. These qualities make a man feel proud to pursue her, not just romantically, but emotionally and spiritually as well. What ultimately makes men chase a woman like this is that she lives in alignment with her values. She doesn't compromise core principles for temporary attention. She doesn't bend herself into a version she hopes someone will love. She doesn't mistake validation for connection. She is rooted in who she is. Her self-worth is so intact that she doesn't fear loss, rejection, or starting over. And because she isn't afraid of losing someone who isn't right for her, she naturally attracts someone who is. A woman who leads with warmth, presence, and emotional intelligence becomes instantly magnetic, but what truly elevates her from attractive to unforgettable is the way she pairs that emotional availability with boundaries. Most people misunderstand boundaries. They think boundaries are walls, but they're not. Walls keep everyone out. Boundaries allow the right people in while keeping out the behaviors and dynamics that drain, confuse, or diminish her. When a woman can be loving without losing herself, open without being reckless, and giving without overextending, she becomes the kind of presence men want to invest in, protect, and pursue with intention. Emotional availability by itself is not enough to inspire pursuit. In fact, when emotional availability is offered too quickly or too intensely, it can make a connection feel unbalanced. A man may appreciate the attention, but he won't necessarily feel compelled to rise to the occasion. But when a woman's warmth is balanced by self-respect, it changes everything. She becomes selective in how she shares her time, her affection, and her emotional energy. Her vulnerability feels earned, not automatic. And when something is earned, it becomes far more meaningful. A woman with boundaries doesn't rush into emotional intimacy. She understands that genuine connection takes time, and she's patient enough to allow a relationship to unfold naturally. She doesn't share her deepest stories, insecurities, or dreams with someone who hasn't yet demonstrated consistency. This creates a sense of healthy pacing. Men feel like they're discovering her gradually, layer by layer, rather than being overwhelmed by a flood of emotional exposure. That pacing creates intrigue. It also allows a man to feel like he is actively contributing to the building of trust, rather than just being handed it for free. This balance between openness and restraint signals emotional maturity. Men instinctively trust women who can regulate their feelings, articulate their needs, and remain calm under pressure. It communicates that she is not using the relationship to fill a void or soothe insecurities. She is participating from a grounded, intentional place. When she expresses interest, it feels sincere, not desperate. When she gives affection, it feels meaningful, not transactional. She has the emotional stability that makes a man want to match her level of effort because the relationship feels safe, balanced, and valued. Boundaries show up in the way she communicates as well. She doesn't allow passive-aggressive behavior, mixed signals, or inconsistency to linger without being addressed. She doesn't attack or accuse. Instead, she speaks from a place of clarity and self-respect. She might say, "I enjoy spending time with you, but reliability is really important to me." Or, "I'm looking for someone who wants to build something real. If we're not aligned, it's better to know now." Statements like these don't chase, they reveal. They show a man exactly what kind of relationship she's available for, while also showing that she's willing to walk away from anything less. This kind of communication is incredibly attractive because it removes the guesswork. Men don't have to decode her feelings or intentions. She isn't trying to manipulate him into giving her more. She simply states her truth and then steps back, allowing him to meet her where she is, or not. And that's where boundaries become truly magnetic. When a woman is willing to lose someone rather than lose herself, she immediately commands more respect. It signals that her standards are non-negotiable, not because she's rigid, but because she knows what a healthy relationship requires. The presence of boundaries. This doesn't make her cold. It actually amplifies her warmth. When she gives, it feels authentic. When she shows care, it feels intentional. Her emotional availability is not scattered across anyone who offers her attention. It is directed towards someone who has earned a place in her life. This level of intentionality makes her feel special, not because she's withholding affection, but because she's giving it with integrity. Men chase women who make them feel that connection with her is a privilege, not a right. Boundaries also protect her from overextending. She doesn't prioritize someone else's needs at the expense of her own. She doesn't tolerate emotional labor that isn't reciprocated. She doesn't become the therapist, the rescuer, or the fixer for a man who is unwilling to do his own work. Her presence is supportive but not enabling. If a man comes to her with stress, insecurities, or doubts, she listens with compassion, but she doesn't absorb his emotional chaos. She maintains her own emotional center, showing him that she cares, but she also trusts him to take responsibility for his own growth. This creates a dynamic where he feels supported without feeling smothered, and where she remains available without sacrificing herself. She also uses boundaries to set the tone for how she expects to be treated. If someone shows inconsistent effort, she doesn't complain. She adjusts her availability. If someone disrespects her time, she doesn't argue. She becomes less accessible. If someone expresses interest but fails to back it up with action, she doesn't force clarity. She removes herself from the uncertainty. Boundaries allow her to act instead of react. This emotional self-sufficiency makes men want to invest more deeply because they feel her inner strength. Men chase women who carry this sense of groundedness because it makes the relationship feel balanced. There's a mutual sense of responsibility, effort, and respect. She isn't demanding he fix everything or prove himself constantly. She simply requires that he show up with consistency, honesty, and effort, the same way she does. Her emotional availability becomes an invitation instead of an expectation, and invitations feel far more compelling. Another powerful aspect of boundaries is that they filter out the wrong men early. Men who want something casual, convenient, or inconsistent will naturally pull away when faced with a woman who knows her worth. But men who are ready for something meaningful feel energized by her standards. They appreciate the clarity, they rise to meet her, they pursue her with more intention. Boundaries don't scare away the right men, they attract them by creating a space where healthy connection can grow. Her presence feels rare because she doesn't give herself away too quickly, but she also doesn't play hard to get. She's not pretending to be unavailable. She simply is unavailable unless someone adds value to her life. This is the difference between a boundary and a strategy. Strategies are manipulative. Boundaries are honest. And honesty is deeply attractive. She can be affectionate without overcommitting. She can be supportive without sacrificing self-respect. She can be emotionally present without becoming emotionally dependent. This balance makes a man feel both welcomed and challenged. He feels emotionally safe with her, yet motivated to be better. That combination inspires pursuit. At her core, she understands that emotional availability is meant to be shared with someone who reciprocates, not someone who drains. So she doesn't chase attention, she responds to effort. She doesn't collapse into someone else's emotional world, she maintains her own. And because she protects her heart with boundaries while offering her presence with sincerity, she becomes the rare woman men don't just want to date. They want to commit to. Men often mistake the idea of mystery for a woman being distant, unresponsive, or playing emotional games. But true mystery, the kind that draws a man in and keeps him pursuing, is not about withholding affection or pretending not to care. It comes from a woman who is genuinely fulfilled, engaged, and invested in her own life. Her value isn't defined by how she behaves in dating, it's built into who she is every single day. This kind of mystery is rooted in authenticity, not strategy. It's the natural glow that forms when someone lives with purpose, curiosity, and self-respect. A woman who embodies this kind of mystery doesn't disappear to create interest. She's simply busy living a life she loves. She's involved in her passions, invested in her friendships, committed to her goals, and awake to the world around her. When a man sees that she's not waiting around for someone to come and elevate her life, he feels drawn into her orbit. Her independence isn't a performance, it's an identity. And because she isn't positioning herself to be chosen, she becomes someone who is naturally more intriguing and desirable. Men feel the difference instantly between someone who is trying to appear independent and someone who truly is. This woman isn't constantly available, not because she's trying to manipulate scarcity, but because she genuinely has priorities beyond romance. She is accomplished, curious, and always growing. She has experiences to share, insights to offer, and stories to tell. Being around her feels enriching because she has depth, emotional depth, intellectual depth, experiential depth. Her world is not small or limited, it's abundant. And when a man realizes that she isn't relying on him to create excitement, meaning, or validation, he feels an urge to deepen the connection. He wants to be part of her world, not the center of it. The mystery comes through in the way she carries herself. She listens without trying to force immediate intimacy. She shares selectively, not out of fear but out of intention. She knows that vulnerability is powerful when revealed gradually, in alignment with trust. She doesn't feel pressure to overshare or to make someone feel close to her instantly. Instead, she allows connection to unfold in a natural rhythm. This creates a sense of anticipation. Men feel that there's always something new to discover about her, a new layer to uncover, a deeper insight to learn. She becomes someone whose presence feels like an unfolding story rather than an open book handed over on the first date. Her emotional world is stable and self-sourced. She's not looking for a man to soothe her insecurities or fix her life. She takes responsibility for her emotional state, and she manages her stresses in healthy ways. She doesn't place pressure on a man to make her feel whole. This emotional independence creates a space where the relationship can grow without becoming suffocating. Men feel safe with women like her because they sense that she's not dependent on the relationship to define her. She approaches love from a place of wholeness, not desperation. And that wholeness creates an irresistible pull. She communicates with clarity, kindness, and confidence. When something doesn't feel right, she addresses it calmly rather than suppressing or exploding. When she needs space, she takes it without drama. When she expresses interest, she does so honestly without fear of rejection. Her emotional consistency is deeply attractive because it means that connecting with her doesn't require guesswork. She is both expressive and grounded, making her presence soothing rather than stressful. One of the most magnetic qualities she embodies is the ability to move on from what doesn't serve her. She doesn't cling to situations that create confusion, emotional pain, or disappointment. She doesn't stay in dynamics that demand her to shrink, chase, or compromise her self-worth. When she feels that someone isn't aligned with her needs or treating her with intention, she steps back gracefully. She doesn't beg for attention or force closure. Her ability to walk away is not a threat. It's a reflection of her self-respect. and nothing inspires pursuit more than a woman who refuses to settle for inconsistent treatment. She has a life rich with experiences, and she's always seeking more. She enjoys time alone without feeling lonely, and she enjoys time with others without losing herself. Whether she's practicing a craft, traveling, learning something new, or simply investing in her growth, she brings color to her world. And this color creates a vibrant presence that attracts people naturally. Men feel energized around her because her life is not centered around waiting for someone else to give it meaning. Her mystery is also expressed in how she manages expectations. She doesn't rush labels or push for commitment before a connection is ready. She allows the relationship to build through shared experiences, demonstrated effort, and mutual emotional investment. She doesn't base her value on how quickly someone defines the relationship. Instead, she pays attention to alignment, consistency, and compatibility. This patient confidence allows a man to pursue her without feeling pressure, while also inspiring him to step up because he recognizes that a woman like her won't wait forever for someone who isn't fully ready. What draws men most deeply toward her is the way she blends warmth with independence. She's affectionate when she feels it, supportive when it's needed, and emotionally open when trust is present. But she never abandons herself in the process. Her life is not paused for romance. It's enriched by it. She doesn't expect someone else to complete her journey. She invites them to walk alongside her. This creates a dynamic where a man feels both valued and challenged. He wants to earn his place in her life because he sees that she values herself first. She knows how to be present without overwhelming, how to be affectionate without smothering, how to be invested without losing her identity. That balanced energy creates space for attraction to grow naturally. Men pursue women like her not because they feel they have to, but because they genuinely want to. She evokes a pursuit rooted in admiration, curiosity, and emotional connection, not obligation or fear of losing a game. Her mystery isn't in what she hides, but in who she is. She is connected to her purpose, explorative in her passions, selective in her relationships, and rich in her inner world. And because she isn't defined by her dating life, she becomes exactly the kind of woman men lean toward. Women who are who? Passionate, evolving, and self-led. What truly makes her unforgettable is that being with her feels like entering a beautiful world, one she built long before any man arrived, and one that will continue to flourish whether he stays or goes.